Hey, welcome. Carm Capriato here with Remarkable Results Radio's podcast episode 430. Coming up is a very interesting discipline that incorporates with how you lead and how you strategize your life and business as a whole. Imagine learning the principles of dancing. Yes, I said dancing, to improve your aftermarket success. A surprisingly unique episode. Now here's a taste.
Oh my gosh, that applies to business. And so this whole book is based off of things that we teach in dance class, but guess what? It's also applicable to business.
Welcome, aftermarketers, to Remarkable Results Radio. Listen to learn just one thing from today's episode on your journey to remarkable results. Hey, Carm here, and Remarkable Results Radio is proud to partner with Apex. Now, even in this technology-driven world, nothing beats the face-to-face meetings I've had at Apex. Now, plan now to attend November 5th through the 7th at the Sands Expo. Write that down, November 5th through the 7th. And registration is open. For more information, visit aapexshow.com. Hey, I love to connect on social media and get likes to the Remarkable Results Radio Facebook page. And thanks for being in the podcast ecosystem with me. Don't forget your help is needed to share this expansive and growing library of aftermarket wisdom as all ships rise. Hey, recently I met a shop owner and explained the podcast. He asked, how much does it cost to subscribe to listen? When I explained it was free and on demand and available anywhere in the world, I saw a glimmer in his eye. Jennifer Filzen from Rockstar Marketing is here to talk about her new book, What Dancing Taught Me About Running a Successful Business. I was fascinated to hear how she connected dancing to being a strong leader and entrepreneur. I believe she nailed it. Hey, find the talking points for Jennifer's interview and her bio at remarkableresultsradio.com/E430. You'll also get links to Jennifer's previous episodes. So if you'd like some ideas on clarity, confidence, certainty, teamwork, timing, and technique, and you want your team at the shop to move like poetry in motion, well, you've come to the right place. Hey, a warm welcome to Jennifer Filzen from Rockstar Marketing. Hey, Jen.
Hey, what's up?
Can I call you Jen?
Of course.
Cool. You were here 1 year ago and we did an interview.
Yes.
And it was really a good interview. Thanks for coming in and sharing your whole Rockstar thing. And since then, a lot has happened with you. You had this unbelievable summit out in California.
Yes, sir.
Where you brought some really cool people together. And you did something I think I've never seen done before. And it was your Rockstar Marketing Summit. Is that what you called it?
Yes, my Rockstar Summit. Yes. And it was a customer appreciation party with just enough business in there to make it a business write-off so they could have an excuse to come out to Monterey, California in January.
It also looks like you had some fun.
Oh, boy, did we.
I know. And I think you did things I've never seen done in the industry.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. And I want you to tell me, a little bit about it. But in between you and I getting together, you wrote a book. And I am so fascinated by this book. By the way, I just got my own copy.
And he asked,
now I haven't read it yet, so I'm going to interview you with one hand tied behind my back because I don't understand the book. But yet, don't ask me why. I think I may understand the principles in the book. Now, I know we may be carrying our audience down this interesting pathway, but the title of the book, everyone, What Dancing Taught Me About Running a Successful Business. A unique management book from a dance perspective. Now, I will tell you the truth. Back in the day, I took dance lessons.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Which kind?
Well, disco.
Sweet.
That was back in the day.
Do the hustle.
We did the hustle. We learned the salsa. We learned just about every line dance in the world because when you went to a club or went out clubbing with friends and you didn't know how to do that stuff, you sat on the sidelines.
Yes.
So it was really cool to learn the moves and to anticipate your partner and they know what's going on with you. And so maybe a little bit about that concept is here in this book.
You betcha. You're on the right track, Carm. Yay. Brownie points.
Yay for me. All right. So you had your first summit.
Yep.
Can you give me just a couple of highlights of how different and unique that was?
Oh, it was so fun. I wanted to create something that was so different and so much fun. And yes, it had wonderful business concepts in it, but I wanted to turn it into an interactive workshop where we actually have movement. So we opened up our Rockstar Summit with the very first workshop, comedy improvisation class.
Yeah.
And we tailored it around customer service. And Dory Epstein works for me. She's also the twin sister of John Epstein.
Sure.
And he's down in San Diego.
Yeah,
Many people know him. He's the current president
of ASCCA. Been on the show a ton.
Yes.
Is a Napa Gold member. I know he's just a great guy.
Yes. So Dory is his sister, and she works for me. And we put on this comedy improv class. And it was the first thing out the gate. Now imagine, this is a little over the top. This is an icebreaker. This is the first workshop of the entire weekend summit. We got them laughing. We got them out of their comfort zone immediately.
Yes.
And it was a hit.
And the cool thing about it is I saw a video on it. And when I saw that video, I said, I got to get you here and go through your mind as to why you thought that was so important.
When you are doing comedy improv, the principle of it is you say yes and. When you are doing comedy improvisation, you are making your people sharing the stage with you look good. We took that same concept and how do we apply it to customer service? When we can think on our feet and when we are in the moment and trying to add some levity actually to what could potentially be a bad customer situation, if we acknowledge it and roll with it and train ourselves to say yes and, that allows us to have the flexibility to get ourselves out of tough spots and turn a potentially negative situation into a 5-star review.
You're really saying replace but
correct
with and.
That is exactly right. Because oftentimes when we're trying to do an argument, Carm, I really like you, but...
Right.
Boy, does that set the tone for something negative about to come? It's like, oh, here comes the bat.
Here comes the cat fight.
Right? And when you say, my goodness, we messed up. Yes, and let's see what we can do about fixing that. It was really cool. We got people laughing.
Well,
we talked about zombies. I mean, it was like crazy comedy improvisation
I was,
stuff.
And the venue to me was very improvish because it was a 2 or 3 step stage.
Yep.
And when you get up there, instead of being on a flat floor and you get in front of people, is a whole different when you're up and on stage and you're up a level. And I think that gave your audience the feeling of on. They were on. It just wasn't a progression from seat to front. It was seat up and on.
And here's what you may or may not know. You may have not seen this in the video. We were in a church.
That's where it was.
Yeah, we were at the Center for Spiritual Awakening, which is where my husband and I attend, and my husband and I host our dance classes there.
Isn't that cool? Because I was looking and saying, where did she find that venue?
I know. And what you couldn't see, or maybe you did from the reel, it's only a block and a half away from the ocean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's spectacular. So that's how we started off the summit.
But there was dancing in it too.
Yes.
So you had to take the principles of the book and bring it. So I guess what I want to know, fast forward, everybody's leaving and they probably said to you, are you kidding me? I did improv. Are you kidding me? I learned to dance.
Yeah.
And they said, Jen, you spun me around, but oh my God, I will have to remember this as long as I live.
Do you know, I'm not joking when I say this. 100% of the people that attended told me I will be back.
Cool.
This was so great. I mean, they are officially charter members of the summit, and they were all like, yeah. And I mean, it was epic. So yes, we had a panel discussion of the future of marketing. So we had other marketers. Kukui was there. Innovision Biz was there. Rena Rennebaum of the ACT Group was there. Yeah. We were all talking about the future of marketing.
Good people.
And then, yes, very good people. Of course, some of your alumni.
Yeah.
And then we had our Teamwork Makes the Dream Work dance lesson. And let me tell you, the thing that made the summit magical was that we encouraged the spouses to attend. It wasn't just about, in fact, one of my emails, I said, the purpose of this summit is to save your marriage. You know why I said that? That's kind of bold, right? But I know that coming to these events, Vision, ATE, all these wonderful training events, and working with this wonderful industry, and myself included, I am a workaholic as well. We devote so much time to our business that our loved ones are often fighting for our attention. Why not create a joyful customer appreciation party with some great business principles in workshop format? Why not have it in a beautiful location, beautiful Monterey, California in January when it's spectacular and no snow? Thank you very much. And we encourage the spouses to come because here's the deal. If we're going to get jazzed at the beginning of the year about what we want our goals to look like for the year, our spouses need to be on board with our goals.
Yeah.
And why not create a fun environment where there's plenty of social outings as well as these workshops that we're doing and have them buy in. So you know what the best part was? At the very end of the summit part, I mean, we did a lot of social outings. We did a great wine and food tasting tour around Carmel. That was super fun. We did a lot of social stuff. But the last workshop thing that we did was vision boards.
And yes, I saw that.
We were like kids in 5th grade with our glue sticks and our scissors and our magazines. And do you know that 5 of the 13 people put "I want to dance more" on their vision boards after they did our dance class? And they saw that dancing does have a lot in common with business.
So Ann and I, we've got a ton of friends. And so we were out at kind of a gathering. And we saw this couple just do unbelievable. I mean, they were just dancing. We says, "Where'd you learn that?" "Well, it's West Coast Swing," they said.
And that's what I teach.
I know. And so they gave me a name of a place, and yet we have not been able to sign up. But maybe this is the motivation.
Where are you?
Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, there's a great community there. Oh.
I know.
You're actually you are near 2 of my favorite champions.
Really?
John Lindo and Deborah Seike. Oh,
Okay.
Look them up.
I will. All right. Well, then you're going to have to help push me to learn West Coast Swing because they were just so, elegant. On the floor, and they were moving. They were in sync. There were so many neat things. And then you write this book, and and like I said, there's just got to be some synergies of connection and knowing each other and making the right moves. In the podcast opening, I mentioned Apex. Now, let's quickly clarify. Apex is not the same as the SEMA show, and I think you know that. Although both are held in the same week in Las Vegas, at the SEMA show, you'll see cool specialty products, and I get it. I've been there. Wow, tons of fun. But if your livelihood is keeping your customers' vehicles on the road, and that's how you earn your living, then you have to attend Apex, because Apex is the business side of the aftermarket. Now, Apex is where you can see, feel, touch, and talk the business of the aftermarket. Everything you need is under one roof, including new tools and equipment, advanced training, hands-on demos, and one-on-one meetings with your suppliers and manufacturers. Needless to mention the networking you have with your peers. And with your Apex badge, you can also visit the SEMA show. One badge does it all. So plan now to attend Apex Tuesday, November 5th through Thursday, November 7th at the Sands Expo in Las Vegas. Hey, to learn all about Apex and plan your visit to Industry Week, visit aapexshow.com. Take me through the principles of this book.
Okay. I actually came up with the idea of this book on Easter Sunday, and then I wrote it, and then I released it on Christmas. So this is all 2018. So this is like, I'm a fast writer. Of course, I write for a living. Hello, marketing. So anyway, I went to a conference, I think it was early March. The speaker was talking about if you want to close more deals, you need to have the 3 C's: clarity, confidence, and certainty. Because if you take your message and you deliver it with clarity and you deliver that message confidently, the audience is therefore certain as to what the next steps are. Okay? Mm-hmm. So when this speaker, Johnny Campbell is his name, and he's done a TED Talk. And when he did this speech, I thought about it and I was like, wow, why does that sound so familiar to me? That's exactly what I need from my leader on the dance floor. I need him to clearly execute the move, confidently do that move, so I, the follower, am certain as to where I'm going down the slot of West Coast Swing.
So you connected this.
I did. And then I was like, when I am judging a dance contest, I'm judging based off of the 3 T's: teamwork, timing, and technique. Because when you see that they are operating as a team on the dance floor, they're not fighting against each other, not struggling. They have good timing, meaning they are in sync with the music and they're in sync with each other. And their technique, their footwork, their body flow, their movement is all wonderful. That's a winning couple on the dance floor. And I was like, oh my gosh, that applies to business. And so this whole book is based off of things that we teach in dance class, but guess what? It's also applicable to business. So, for example, let's see, where's my table of contents? Oh, and by the way, did you see that Patrick McHugh wrote my foreword?
No.
Patrick McHugh.
Oh my
Rescue.
God. Yes, one of my most favorite guys.
Isn't he
Yay,
wonderful?
Patrick, nice
so
job.
There's like so much in here. Okay. Community, willingness, trust, connection.
I can see it.
Attitude.
Yeah. When you explain it based on teamwork, timing, and technique.
You got it.
Wow.
Yeah. Transition, showmanship, growth, discipline, champion level.
Wait a minute. All this has to do with dancing?
All this has to do with dancing. And my goal when writing this, actually one of my clients I actually had in my head, and I wrote this for him, John Clarkowski of Auto Pro Auto Service in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. He and I had a conversation because he's going to get married soon. And we were on the phone. I was in Monterey. He was in Minnesota. And he was like, Jen, how do I twirl her? And keep in mind, when you're on the phone and you're a dance teacher and he can't see you, how am I going to tell him how to twirl her? And so I was like, well, John, do you want her to spin in place? Do you want her to rotate as she's going down the slot? Or are you just trying to, do you want her to do a spin or do you want her to do a wider circle? And so what I was figuring out was he was trying to ask me, how does the hand fit within hers? And I was like, oh, think of like a pin in a cup. Her hand is like holding on to like an ice cream cone, forming a cup, and then your fingers are the pin rotating that cup. And it's just a lot easier as opposed to like a full handhold. And again, I know your audience can't see me.
No, but I get that. I mean, I think you just broke the code for me.
Right.
On how that spin works.
And actually, when I write, I actually am doing my best to do analogies of what we know in the auto repair world, frames, ball bearings, I'm trying to like speak in your language. Yeah. So what I really want, I know this is really funny. I have two goals with this book.
All right.
One, I want your teams to start moving like poetry in motion, just as a finely tuned dance troupe. I want your teams at your shop to have a great morale and great trust and teamwork, so they have great timing, technique, and teamwork, etc.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I want to remove the mystique, which usually scares the pants off of these auto repair shop owners. And let's just put it this way. Most American men have not been encouraged to dance in their lives because that might be seen as something sissy. Right? So our culture has not nurtured, until recently, that men dance. Well, guess what? In Carmel, California and Pacific Grove, where we teach West Coast swing, the majority of our dance students are all baby boomers. And they're realizing at this time in their lives that they are worth their weight in gold, and their wives have been, or now they're single, or something has gone on in their lives, and dancing heals. And these wives and spouses and et cetera, they're just over the moon happy that their man is dancing with them. So if I can get more dancers as a result of this book, I have just made all the women very, very, very happy.
If you could get more people to want to learn how to dance, and the principles of the book may encourage that, and realize that this is a worthy training seminar for me because I can relate it to my business.
Yes.
I get it.
Isn't that fun?
I get it. Yeah. One of the thoughts that came to my mind in when Ann said, we should really learn how to dance like that. It was at a wedding. We were watching another couple or two that were really good at it, and say, that is so fluent. They look so good. How do they do that?
How do they do it?
How do they do that?
Yeah.
It's always I can do that. The possibilities. But knowing that I took, those dance lessons way back in the day, I realized that it's not just that simple. You just don't go out and do it. You've got to know each other's moves, and you got to feel and anticipate, because I believe every dance, I remember, I'm just going back to a couple of thoughts that I had when we were teaching these, the hustle dance steps. Mm-hmm. There were names of every one of those, and you and your spouse needed to know which ones that you were going to slice and put into the routine that you came out and did. And if your spouse didn't know what you were ready to do next, which version of the hustle, which moves you were going to make, you were clumsy and you weren't working right. I mean, I can see where this whole business thing comes together.
And the cool thing about West Coast swing, especially, I'm an expert in West Coast swing. A lot of people are like, oh, do you teach hustle? Do you teach salsa? Nope. I'm a one-trick pony.
Got it.
And boy, if you calculated all the money I've spent on private lessons over the time, I could have bought a house by now. But it's so much fun for me. Do you know we were just in Maui for 2 weeks teaching dance? Yes. I love my life.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing is that it's all about frame and connection. So again, I know your audience can't see me. You're standing in front of me, but so West Coast swing is all improvisational. I like to think of it a lot like jazz music. Jazz musicians understand the underlying principles and the rules, so to speak. So they have the basic structure. And in West Coast swing, there are 8 basic patterns. It's almost like knowing your alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. So A through H. Those are your 8 basic moves. We learn those. And then once you know those moves and you have a good frame and you have a good connection, what I mean by connection is when the hands are touching, when I have enough, not tension as in, I start flexing my biceps and getting really tight, but more of a tone. When I have a good tone and he has a good tone, I can feel where he's leading me based off of where his body is positioned and based off of his direction, taking my hand, leading me down the slot or going through a turn. And so when it looks like magic, because my husband and I will dance and people will stop us and they'll go, whoa, what are you doing? And are you champion level? Like, who are you? Are you professional dancers? Like, well, sort of. We're average, everyday people that just happen to love this dance. And yes, we are dance teachers, but we have day jobs because it's hard to make real money off of dance. But yeah, it's all because of that connection and commitment. And okay, for example, here's one of the principles in the book that I talk about, the word commitment. 1 year in our dance world, I said, okay, everybody, the theme for this year is commitment. Now we have a lot of singles in our group. And as soon as I said that, about 3 people moaned and one guy started walking out the door. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not talking about commitment in your relationships. I'm talking about commitment from one side of the body to the other. And then they were like, oh. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, okay, again, you guys can't see me, but follow me here. If you are walking down the street, the reason why you were able to walk down the street is because every time you take a step, you're committing the weight over that foot. And your nose is directly over your toes as you're shifting weight walking down the street. Okay? But if you just stand there and you have your nose going directly down the middle of your body, so it's going down the crotch, what you've done is you've created a bridge. And until you shift your weight over to the left or to the right, you're not going anywhere. Try standing with your split weight and try lifting your leg. It's very difficult, right? So you have to commit to one side of the body or the other. And then let's look at the principle in business. If you commit yourself to doing excellent quality work, if you commit to having a good connection with your community, if you commit to working well with your team and being clear in the direction of the purpose of the business, guess what? You are able to move forward.
And you create momentum.
Yes.
That was my thought as you were doing your...
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, momentum. Wow. You're right. Here I'm standing and I'm moving. How am I doing?
You're fabulous. First place.
Ding, ding, ding. Excellent. So, okay. How does this book, how will this book help one of our listeners?
Well, the cool thing is that after you read a little bit about my points, then I have homework for you to do.
Okay.
So, for example, I'm just doing a random page here. Leaders and followers. Every healthy team has an effective group of leaders and followers. In business, leaders, aka managers, often benefit from following suggestions made by the team. When given the opportunity, the followers, aka support staff, can develop into highly effective leaders. Identify the leaders and followers within your business and list their strengths. If you need to list more leaders and followers, use a separate sheet of paper. And so I've got down leader number one's name and personal strengths. So I actually have homework.
So there's it's a kind of a workbook and combined not only with your business principles in here. And where's the dance connection? I mean, I love what you just talked about, but do you get into why dance makes this connection to being a great leader and running a great team? Okay.
I do. But the thing that I would like to do later this year, so hold me accountable, everybody.
All right.
I want to create some videos and do online courses. What I have planned is I would like to have the same videographer that did that wonderful sizzle reel of my summit. Yeah. He's an award-winning videographer, and he's really good. Mark Silber. By the way, gang, if you have the chance of working with Mark Silber, he'll make you look so good. Anyway, I'd like to have him film me and my husband Renee doing a dance technique listed in the book. And so you guys can see it in the dance format and then talk about it in the business format.
Got it.
Yeah. So I really would love to turn this into an honest to goodness workshop for the auto repair industry, actually any industry, but this is my happy place.
It's an interesting stretch, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, it is probably a healthy, strong stretch. I think you, who I'm talking to, has to get out of your comfort zone occasionally, maybe more often than not, and build some tension and give this a try. In fact, go and take your significant other, go do a West Coast swing thing, get the book, read about it, and maybe that dance lesson and that level of partnership and the disciplines of dance can maybe spark something for the business.
That's the goal. I know. And I can hear people screaming like, no, don't make me do it.
This is one of those episodes they will not share. They will not share.
Honey,
with
you're
their
not listening to this. You're not
Yeah.
listening to this podcast.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to Carm's latest podcast. No. No, we're not going to listen to that one. That thing is about dancing. Yeah, well, talk about what, we constantly want to, stretch the goals and the ideas here. And you bring, not only are you serving the industry through Rockstar Marketing, but, this whole thing with the dance and the disciplines and the book. Congrats to you. I mean, it's a good, healthy stretch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been asked, by WorldPack to come up with some new class ideas, and I'm like, well, this one, and people are probably
Are you kidding me? I can only imagine what you could do. I mean, if you get some couples up there and go through the principles, teach someone a move, and then and talk about what's going on. I mean, and I think that to me, it's almost like it's like a hands-on, but it's not.
Right.
And you know how you learn when you do hands-on.
Totally, exactly.
Yeah.
When you actually move, you learn better. And then I can just see, okay, so let's address the resistance. Well, I don't bring my wife to the different conferences. Well, guess what? We don't actually have to have our significant others. We don't have to have a dance class in order to do this book.
No, I get that. But if you had...
But if you did, it'd be magic.
Guaranteed there's going to be a husband and wife in that room who'll be willing to volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
And be your subjects.
Oh, yeah.
As you go through this stuff and everyone's kind of learning and watching. Maybe not doing, but learning and watching. Wow. So what else should I know? Thank you for coming here and sharing this.
I just want to tell you how much you've changed my life in the last year.
Oh, what do you mean? Really?
Okay. It's all good. You ready?
Yeah,
You ready? You sitting down?
I am.
I love what you do with this community. You really share some wonderful golden nuggets with this community. And one of those golden nuggets just happened to be thank you for inviting me. I'm saying that I'm a golden nugget. That came out wrong. I'm not really a golden nugget.
I think we know what you're talking about.
But anyway, where I'm going, I'm a chicken McNugget. That's what I am. Anyway, I was teaching at Vision for the very first time in 2018. Green and a little nervous, and it's my first time. And you were kind enough to interview me and ask me what my class was about. And I think that drummed up some interest in my class, Fishing for Millennials, Attracting Them with SEO. I'm teaching that again this year. And I also did a rant with you.
Yep.
I was episode number 5, I think.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
for the
record, number 5, I believe.
I could look that up.
Yes,
Okay.
I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
and I said, I want to see more women in this industry because the women in this industry are amazing and let's have more of them. So that was February, March of 2018. Since then, I have become a World Pack instructor. I have been recruited into the ASCCA, and I am now the chairwoman of the Women in Automotive Committee, recruiting more women, young women and men. We are not saying we don't want young men to join us, please. We just want to encourage more females. So I've also, created the summit. My business has blown up. It is phenomenal what 2018 was. And the theme for 2019 is sustainability. I grew so much. Now I just want to be able to sustain and really refine my processes. In fact, I've got a theme for myself this year. My theme is sustainable shawl. And shawl is an acronym for strength, health, abundance, worthiness, and love. So I'm envisioning a shawl.
Got it.
Around me that's all sustainable.
You're visual. You
I am.
Yeah. You touchy feely,
I know I'm so not the norm, am I?
No, you're not, but that's okay. Refreshing, enlightening. Congrats on a great career. Thank you for doing what you did for us last year, and to all the great things that are going on, and how you were able to pull your passion and love for dancing and relate it into our industry. So I can't wait to read the book. I will jump in it. Jennifer Filzen, Rockstar Marketing, and her new book, What Dancing Taught Me About Running a Successful Business.
Yay.
Thanks,
Thank you
Jen.
so much.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.